Hey gamers. There we go. How does it go, my gamers? I've still got an hour to kill before I can fucking go to sleep. So I guess where's my tools, that's right. -2 authority?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. With the permeable...
I've got a cat on my lap.
It's barely
That's
held together
exciting.
by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Read a case
It takes
file.
about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The Next World mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couron.
Of course, of course.
Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class."
I like it.
People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Wait, do I ever find out who came up? Do I ever find who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Read on.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Keep the mural. It is right.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class.
In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next?
The unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Okay. Seems pretty cut and dry.
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets?
Proceed.
Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
I see.
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Leslie is flashing.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Fuck!
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is Burke can't walk anymore.
That's the good news.
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
I guess that's one way to solve it.
Why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
I can revisit this.
Not much has changed.
The ledger away. Alright. Time to sleep.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it.
Go to sleep.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself.
Mood.
You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
Like from Metal Gear?
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking,
Yep.
what did we ever do to you?
Bye, little boy. Sorry, cells. It's all me. It's my fault.
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
No, please. Where's that blessed nothingness? That sweet oblivion?
You had your chance, Harry boy, and you missed it. Started thrashing around, acting all brave. Now the dark center has vanished. You'll never get back to it. You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
Some of them are. Some of them are nice. Others are scared. At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Been there, bud.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
No, disco. Open your eyes. All right. So begins day 3. Where now we can finally go to places. Wait. Nothing on the front page rings a bell. Strange. Kim, my hero. Oh, hey
Yes?
Kim, why are there other cops here? Nothing. Hello?
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
I'm on a murder investigation. Are you the cavalry?
I'm definitely not the cavalry.
Is everything alright? Why don't you want to talk to me?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
It's cool to see another cop. I thought Kim and I were the only ones.
No, you're not. You're not the only cop in the world.
She shakes her head and breathes out.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
So what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
She just sighs.
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
The sunglasses wearing man pushes through his teeth. Okay, goodbye.
You look like shit.
Your ruffled face reflects on the man's sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Last couple days have been rough.
Oh, don't be so modest. We're looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What you want?
Okay, so this guy is cool. He stands there like a statue, an angry statue, and he does not like you. Don't even try to win him over. He won't.
There's something strange about this guy. Figure it out.
You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Oh, tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
From where? From another life?
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the...
He pauses.
To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
Shit, what station do I belong to? Shit. I don't remember which station I'm from. Shit. Why does it not say? Why does it not say? 41st sounds familiar. Is that Kim's? It's definitely 41st or 57th. One of them is Kim's and one of them is mine, I think. Shit. 41st?
Okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere.
He gives you a long, meaningful look and adds,
Somewhere good.
let's talk more about that hypothetical Station 41 you mentioned.
Okay.
Oh, this line's not voiced. Oh, the hypothetical 4-1. Yeah, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy and you're not busy. Let's play around. So what would our relationship be in this alternate universe?
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to have you as my partner.
Would you now, or would I be cramping your style? Never mind. Partner.
No, you wouldn't cramp my style at all.
Okay. How about you stop wasting my time and get on with whatever you were doing then?
Do you have a crime to solve?
Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
She says, shaking her head and looking at the man with sunglasses disapprovingly. Who else is in our imaginary police station?
You're not going to believe this, but police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lung.
Who is the far-out son of Long?
Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you.
Want to tell me more about him? Or her?
Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by the sunglassed man.
I can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
His gray eyes suddenly flash above the glass frames. They feel sad.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
Kim, who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize them.
Got some questions for you. I'm a cop.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like?
Like a sack of shit? No, like a man down on his luck? I'm trying real hard here, man.
Oh, well, go solve your case then. That would count as trying hard.
He didn't answer your question.
Now will you answer some questions for me?
No,
Why not?
'cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging?
If you don't want to answer questions, maybe you want to hear me say things?
Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
Okay, that might have been shot by the person. Okay, this person who was shot and then made to look like he was hanged. He might have been shot by the people who hanged him.
I get it, okay. But what is the motive?
To cover something up?
That would be my first guess, yes.
It's quite possible. Hey, why am I telling you these things?
I don't know. Why are you?
He gives you an odd look.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Okay then, see you around.
Watch out for yourself, loser.
That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling to your station and reporting your badge missing?
Wait, your voice. I recognize it.
Oh really? I wonder where.
I lost my badge recently. When I called to report it missing, you were there.
That's the where you remember me from?
I have a bit of memory trouble.
You don't say. Goodbye then. The voice thing was a coincidence. Run along, asshole.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right?
No, the whole interaction was perfectly normal.
There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at, but still.
I was just thinking the same thing. I should just ask him if we're from the same station.
Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
He shakes his head, looking like he really has trouble believing this shit. Look, I just have to ask, are we from the same police station?
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Okay.
Okay.
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again.
Okay then, see you around. So I feel like I missed out on something there. Why are there two other cops here? That seems important. At least one is from my station. I believe the other one is also from my station. Are they here looking for my gun? Or my badge? Or both? Hey, look, the thing's fixed.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be, and a mechanical lever sitting in the middle.
Pull the lever, again.
You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Hell yeah. Access to the rest of the map. Presumably.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Okay, but all of our objectives are on this side, Kim. Every single objective we have, radio relay hums with electricity. Every single objective we have requires us to be on this side now, Kim. That's why we couldn't do shit yesterday. Traffic beyond the gate. More abandoned motor lorries. Sign says no entry. Someone scribbled an inverted star on it. The inverted star of communism! Oh shit, there were coins up there. Breaker box to a breaker box to power the radio pylon above you. There's something inside. Hell yeah! Footsteps. Creaking ahead. A broken axle grinding. Oh hey! Would you look at that? banged up fuel container. Yoink.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half-submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there, in the icy water. The seawater has already started to corrode the metalworks. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
So this is where all those tracks were leading to.
It appears to be so.
The lieutenant has a peculiar look in his eyes as he inspects the wreckage. Let's investigate.
I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
What's the make of this, MC? Can I see the logo?
The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
Run your hand over the cold metal.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it.
How long has it been here?
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Well, looks like Jacob Ayer's journey came to an abrupt end here.
Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
I don't understand. I maybe shouldn't have said that, because I don't know who Jacob Ayer is. Yes. Crazy recklessness.
Yes. Crazy recklessness. I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
What should we do?
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns, papers, maybe a cool jacket. A joyrider jacket. The joyrider jacket. You feel a strange connection to this joyrider. Maybe he's from some kind of joyriders district and likes blue and white racing livery, like a cop would.
How long would it take for the low tide to come in?
I don't know. An hour or two tops?
Sit on the swing and wait for I don't want to do that. I guess that's... Sit on the swing and wait for the tide to recede? I feel like that's a waste of time.
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Yeah, apparently my only option here was to wait and waste time when... Unless it requires you to waste time, which kind of sucks. Hold on, it looks very blue. Point to the sunken vehicle.
Yes, it does.
Back to the tree? You mean the hanging tree? Whistle a tune.
Spit flies from your mouth to your mustache, your chest, the ground before you. No sound though.
Raining heavily here, Chief. Mind keeping it down a bit?
The lieutenant must think it's rather funny. He smiles and quickly turns away.
Haha, very funny, so I can't whistle.
Just keep at it. It will come to you.
With his lips puckered, the lieutenant lets out a beautiful melodic trill that puts even the insulindic thrush to shame. You hear the sound echo on the large body of water. Clouds race across the spring sky, and suddenly you just feel better about everything. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
So was your dad also, pointing to your eyes? What does that mean? Party eyes?
My dad and mom are both half Celite.
Oh, was I being racist? Shit, was I being racist there? I didn't even... Oh, so both?
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Yeah, I think I was accidentally racist because I didn't understand what the prompt meant. Do you think I'll ever find my gun?
God, I hope so.
I've been thinking, if I put enough time into eating right and exercising, I could turn myself into a living weapon. Then I wouldn't even need a gun.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Can you make out the mark now?
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Coupri, Model 40.
His eyes turn to you.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people. You know, those kinds of people.
Squint your eyes and say, is that a number on the side?
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Oh.
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. It's pedagogical. Does he know something about the driver of this vehicle?
Oh God, no.
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. No. Just no. Say no to this, Harry.
No, no.
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
Oh my God, it's mine. I drove my car into the sea.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here.
They're not gonna take me back after this, are they?
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
The badge, the gun, and now this.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a fourth thing you've lost.
Fourth thing?
More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined. Lost forever into the deepest of seas.
Well, at least I can see what's in there now.
Yes, let's go take a look.
Oh, hey, my badge.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
I found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
The lieutenant glances at the badge in your hands. Study the badge.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Look at the photo.
The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. Good choice. A newer photo would look different.
How old?
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
And he's winking. Why?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Name, Harrier Dubois.
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
What kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times. Like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
Yeah, I should have committed to Ambrose Cousteau or whatever the fuck that name was. Harrier Dubois it is then.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
Rank, Lieutenant 2 Jafar.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is a Lieutenant W. Freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
And W. Freighter?
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter.
Declined?
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank. In your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
What's a décomptage?
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens' militia. It means counting down to twos.
I don't know what that means.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kinks.
What kinks?
Kinks like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
Wait, satellite officers?
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
Thanks for explaining all this.
My pleasure.
Turn back to the document.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads,
Cereal. Revachol. Something something. Jamrock 41.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Okay, I nailed that one. Date of issue, 7th of November, 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably yes. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you, of that you are sure.
I remember that time! That was a good time. We had a good work-drink balance going. What happened, man? Pump it up!
Precinct 41?
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
He stops. What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva. he knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him. Ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Put the badge away. Okay. Well, that's that settled. Footprints in the snow. They lead away from the accident. Oh, good. Yeah. The underside of the boat has been recently tarred. So that's 2 mysteries solved. 1, the mystery of the flippy car. There's a boat tucked away underneath the tarpaulin cover. Mystery of the flipped car, and mystery of the where the fuck is my badge? Through broken glass, dusty shells, and forgotten chair. Cold breeze is enough to make the plank walls creak. See a dark red chair in the dim light of the room. Okay. We've already made progress. Well, in a sense, there was a Joyrider's jacket. It's just that the Joyrider was me, and it was my own jacket. Footprints. Fisherman shacks. Unlocked. Wedding stone. Real worn and covered in rust. All the curtains have been drawn, no look in. Or white curtains have been drawn, no look in. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this house left in a hurry. Okay, so what? Okay. Determine where the shot came from. Please give up Ruby's location. Nameless fishing village. Isabel and Lillian. Are you one of those people? You are. Woman in a raincoat stands on the quay, considering an overturned boat. A sword in a scabbard hangs from her hip.
Anything I can help you with?
That depends. Where are we exactly?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium.
Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
That's fun. I've got a question. I've questions. The first is, what is your
The
name?
name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
I mean, that was actually the third question.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Nice sword. Does it come with the story?
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly.
It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Why do you need intimidation tactics?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Why don't more women arm themselves if it's so effective?
What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that.
Harsh.
That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
True, most people I've met are scared.
Aye. No one wants to talk about how frightened they are. But only frightened people are really dangerous. And plenty of them are dangerous.
So where are all the men now?
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Where's your husband now?
Gone.
Gone where?
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago.
He died? Was he murdered? That's bad. What happened?
Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later.
Oof.
Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
This stream brought to you by Red. Red. It's the beverage. Time really is the best cure for sorrow, isn't it?
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on.
That's some good red.
Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She glanced at the village where two little kids are playing with what look like rocks.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk.
No!
Both of you could need some action.
Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do!
Nope. I was asked to get your signature.
Were you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the Union building?
Everett's planning to turn some of the village into a youth center.
What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that...
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the idea.
Thought what exactly?
That Everett and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess Union members have children too.
And those members have a vote when electing the head of the local chapter.
Here, use my pen.
He has a pen and everything.
She takes it from you, a doubtful look in her eyes, clicks it and places the tip to the paper.
Here you go.
Wait, why did you sign it?
I shouldn't have.
No, it's a youth center. Why shouldn't you?
That's what I asked you. It's a youth centre and I have children. Got to give them something else to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11 because I was so bored.
Oof.
Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. It's a bad idea. She won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than me.
Sound logic. Division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic. Sounds like Isabel is the leader around here.
I'm looking for someone. Maybe you can help.
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
Looking for some missing cryptozoologists?
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
People who look for animals mainstream scientists deny exist.
Aha! Like snowmen.
Snowmen? I haven't heard about those.
Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Where did they go?
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
That's it. I'm not looking for anyone else right now.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Why can't I ask where Isabel is? Is that your boat?
Sure is. The Sun, I call her. Coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
It hasn't been sunny. It's been snowing. A lot. What do you do around here?
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff.
Is that enough to make a living?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Like a car!
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her. This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Interesting. What have you found?
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once.
Damn.
Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Quick, what do I say? Pull down. Yeah, it looks like it only gives like 15 fucking seconds, which is a radically short amount of time. A mine? The RCM could use a mine. Where is it?
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. The blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing.
Spiky must have been a naval contact mine.
Be seeing you. Boat is floating freely in the water, unmoored. What are these doing in the fish? Boots. Planks creak beneath your weight. Ladder leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. Okay. So. Now where is Isabel? Can't see into the house from this angle. It's locked up. Locked tight. Are you Isabel? Woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Then how does she know you're here?
I mean, there are other ways of knowing someone's there, like sound. Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Bratan. Shows you got style.
What he said, we're cops. We don't cause trouble, we take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
If I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still
That
welcome
tracks.
here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses.
Don't need to worry
or a
about
lot
that.
of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Where could someone stay around here?
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shop.
She points her soapy thumb to the building behind her. How much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
I'm not sure it's appropriate for the RCM to accept free accommodations.
Oh, don't. It's your choice. No skin off my teeth.
Why isn't anyone using the room?
My kids grew up and left like we do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
Got yourself a tenant.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
Finally, you have those lame-os of matinees off your back, Bratan. This looks like a great place to bring chicks.
What is in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
Who else lives in this village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. But they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
I met Lillian already.
Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left.
I haven't seen any drunks yet, though.
Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
Alright, there's another topic I'd like to address.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
What's further down the further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
What else is down the coast?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Which is it then? Apartments or an electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
That's it? There's got to be more along the coast.
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
She drops a bar of soap in the bucket with a splash. Tell me about yourself. Who are you exactly?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
Lieutenant Double Yfrader Harrier Dubois.
Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
I was asked to get your signature.
Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says.
Everett wants to turn part of the village into a little youth center.
Huh. I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. I see Lillian's name is already here. The girl is too trusting. Either way, I won't sign union papers.
What do you have against it? Or she hands the envelope back to you. What do you have against the union?
I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises we never planned to keep.
She pulls the dark red rag out of the bucket and puts it back in. Puts it back.
Then the poor get pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you.
She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her.
Suggestion. 72% chance.
Logic and reason won't work on this old bat. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability? Does this feel like a good thing, though? The grandmother card will do the trick. Last chance to turn back.
What's going to happen to the children?
What do you mean? What's going to happen? We are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village and they are doing fine for themselves.
Are they here now?
No, they moved to Faubourg for work.
What do you think Lillian's kids are going to do when they grow up?
Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just reel her in.
And then what?
Then,
The old woman exhales. She stares at the ground, unable to finish the thought.
Wait. Let her come to it herself.
Say nothing.
I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, who am I to stop them?
Nod.
Did you say something?
Said you can start by signing these papers. I've got a pen right here.
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
Goodbye. I'm off. street sign is illegible below the graffiti. Hard to see details. The color is all warm and welcoming, or cozy though. A flower trough where nothing really grows, maybe in the spring. Good rocks.
The
Oh,
scruffy-haired
children.
little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
You must be Lillian's twins.
This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
Explains the other one, tongue still lolling out of his mouth. That seems like a rude thing to say to a child. I don't want to be rude to this child. Bye.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. It's signed by Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things, and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
Look at the zoning
The
plan.
youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say.
Try to find a loophole in the deal.
There doesn't seem to be anything of interest here. No fine print. You're smart. You can read.
I don't think I can, and I don't think I am. Wait, reverse those. Put the documents back in the envelope. Okay. Black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirrup. Water runs from the west. The source is upstream. A broken pipe? You look like a cryptozoologist. Tiny cages, carefully constructed.
Here we go.
Yeah!
No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Gary the crypto-fascist? Hey Gary, I don't think I like you.
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Morel, the cryptozoologist?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Lena sent me. She's been really worried about... No, I don't have... Maybe? There was a mug in the trash I didn't take. Do you mean that mug? Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the A81.
The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it. With the whole story.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't.
Lena.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind.
For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sort of specialized techniques could it use to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
Why are you so interested in this stick bug? Doesn't seem as colorful as some other cryptids I've heard about.
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for.
That's true, actually.
Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
Cryptozoologist says, brusquely, even though he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What makes you think it's here in Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe it died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Of course, of course. Parthenogenesis?
Yes. The females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
That's pretty clever.
Yes. The Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
I'll get going. Soggy logs smell of ignition fluid, but still they won't light up. It's almost impossible to get a fire going this near to the ocean. Hey,
Hello,
Gary!
I'm Gary. How do you do, officer? Yellow man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great outdoors.
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you've been tempted to drink.
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revocol.
Don't even pronounce it right. His gaze shifts to the pile of soggy logs at his
He
feet.
pronounces Revocol with a hard K, unlike other people.
Haha, I noticed that.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Are you a cryptozoologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
There probably is a follow-up to this, but you can't think of any. Doesn't matter. Waste of time anyway. Gotta keep moving.
You said Revocol?
I like to pronounce it the hard way. The old way. The Vespertine way.
Of course. He nods solemnly.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's odd. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the whirling in rags?
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He's not feeling very comfy in his clothes, is he? Strange.
You were surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Lieutenant is a native of Revachol.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the subject, okay?
Thank you for your cooperation. I was right. I didn't like that guy.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
Hey, I can't see anything interesting.
You don't have a reason to. Yet.
What's this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
Boy, the buoy bobs in the water. On it, the number on it says 11. God, I can't fucking read ever under any circumstance. Never once in my life have I been able to read. Oh, items. Yeah, I don't have a mug. A boat in the boathouse today. Ooh. Oversized superstar sunglasses, huh? Boathouse is shoddily constructed. A solid breeze might blow it over. I know that there was a mug in the trash, the dumpster, but I decided not to get the trash mug. Ancient paint is peeling off this thing, covered in rust. Whatever.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Why this many bullet holes?
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is this?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Kim, who is who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe...
What about the people from the coalition? The so-called moralists?
Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was the commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Look at the people against the wall.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world.
Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Goodbye.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Well, damn. Sign says Entrée interdite. An old ticket taker booth, no longer in operation. People paid money to park here? No one would pay now. Hell yeah. More coins. What? Incredible. Door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Okay. Oh, sweet, a full fucking real. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes, crumbling.
You see, a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years.
Yeah, it seems kind of annoying. I'm hoping I don't have to run back and forth on it too much.
A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Lieutenant raises the collar off his bomber jacket. Turn away.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
The blond man standing next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and
New
smiles.
officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Khan Hailostam. You must be Kim Kisaragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Hypertext, you say?
Nice to meet you.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
That makes sense. Hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Yes, of course. You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately. But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to shield himself from the freezing snow. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
I got into the apartment building. I just need to go there at 9 o'clock to talk to what's-his-fuck? Johnny New York. Unless you mean the building with the intercom, in which case, no, I did not get into that. And have no idea how to get into that. Oh, look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I'm assuming R&D is research and development? Wait, what's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development.
Okay.
They don't use it anymore.
He smells brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Ah, yes, of course.
Mayor Kalpa, you are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
I don't think I've ever heard of this filled electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era.
Of course, of course.
Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
Mm-hmm. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other buildings, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Decret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Vom Bessere dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
He means they all got shot in the head because they were bourgeois. Tape computers, right.
Tape computers.
He nods, wind tussling his suit jacket. How did those tape computers work?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant. Exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Hughes joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Dare I? Do I? Let's put it to a vote. Vote now. Before it's too late. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Just. What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Come on, there's no place called the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center of Arts. Is it? Damn, that's wild. Maybe? Jeez, that's weird, because usually that only happens if I've been having, like, issues, and this stream, as far as I can tell, hasn't had any issues yet. Come on, there's no place called the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Arts.
Actually, I think there is. No, it's too much. He's joking.
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
He clears his throat. Oh, damn.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Yeah, I wish I could extend the vote time. Like, I wish that was an option, but the only option is, like, have it at all. Which I can't do anything with. Oh. Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. wanted to ask something else.
But of course. What else?
Great, thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Okay, I want a new thought. What should my new thought be? I don't know what most of these are. Date of birth generator. That doesn't seem important. Morning. Problem. The Humpty Dumpty Dom Center. It's Wednesday. I do like to open containers. Let's internalize opening containers. Bars cover these long, dusty windows. Quick travel unlocked. Buzz, hum, electricity flows through the wires with... Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
No need. Dead phone, smash receiver. Like someone hung up too hard. Rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. Russian letters read Mazut. A kick drum pulse. Music is coming from somewhere on the ice. Looking back at you from the rust-colored water, you. That was so worth walking over towards. Must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Hello?
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh. Hello there.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where is your hat?
Huh?
She looks up at you, distracted. I said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
I have a hat on. I should, and I do.
Oh. I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too, if you plan on staying outside in this weather.
Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
What did she just say? That's not how a civilian is supposed to address an officer of the law.
Regain authority.
Lots of feeling. Feel it up. Way up.
Oh my god. Fuck the hat? Is that what you just said to me? I can't believe you told me to fuck the hat.
You're saying it really loud, but it's not coming out right. Maybe add more indignation.
So I should just take this hat I'm wearing and fuck it, right? Point at your head, where the hat is located. Engage in sexual intercourse with a hat right here in front of you because you told me so? On the sea ice?
More.
Right here on the sea ice?
More.
Puff your cheeks as you can't even breathe from the sheer indignity of the affront.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
The girl is visibly
The
shaken.
lieutenant is watching the scene unfold before his eyes, unsure how to react.
Start jumping up and down on the sea ice, gesturing toward it with both hands as if to say this is where it is supposed to take place.
The girl looks down, slowly curling into a ball. That's it. You've earned it. Start crying. Life's hard.
Anyway, I can't believe you used obscenities like that in front of a police officer. And you should...
Words are stuck in your throat. All that comes out is tears pouring down your face. The young woman has kept her eyes trained on her wires, waiting for the lecture to end. But now she hears sobbing. Looking up, she sees a grown man on the wrong side of 40. His face bloated from alcohol and God knows what else. Not so quietly, crying.
This isn't really about the hat, is it?
And you should wear a hat. That's it. That's what I wanted to say.
I swear to God, I will always wear a hat from now on.
Would it be alright if I asked you some questions now?
You know, you're not the only one with issues. I self-medicate. Shit. Life's a horror, you know? Crying helps, though. Get it out your system. And then maybe we can talk. Okay? I'll be here.
Hey, Kim. Having looked away during the final phase of your little episode, the lieutenant now addresses you.
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
That's probably a good idea.
Normally, I'm opposed to discussing one's feelings, especially on duty. But I think this is an exceptional case. So, what do you think happened?
I experienced a minor malfunction. I'm okay now.
Glad to hear it was minor. Can you go on?
I can, and I'm sorry, Kim. I promise this is the last time.
Then, let's go.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader, or at least he thinks he is.
Squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
He gestures for you to squeeze in. Pile of nasal sprays. Brand name Nosafed Ultra. Canisters filled with what appeared to be water. The label says distilled. Speaker, the big kind they use for live music.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secrets.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
But is it? I mean, really.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
A strangely dressed young man says without looking up from his toolbox. If I want to speak to you first.
I suck at socialising, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in. Get a reading on your side.
Before he's finished talking, he's already turned back to his tools.
Maybe you should just stand there, watch him rattle his toolbox, get to know his side.
Just stand there and observe him.
The contents of the young man's toolbox are organized in a neat yet eclectic manner. He is constantly checking out the various tools and parts and rearranging them slightly. It's a bit hypnotizing if you look at it long enough.
I have all kinds
Oops.
of screws.
He holds up a handful. What do you do with all that stuff?
These are my consumer items and my means of production. I enjoy them. Talk to Andre. No point in standing here. The signs are really out of tune.
He glances at the others.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg!
He yells. The tape player high above his head continues to blast strange music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Oh, that's not for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part. Place is a shithole. I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth.
I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something you wanted?
Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't
Enough.
fall for it.
Enough histrionics. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads! Burnouts!
He angrily spits on a screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that! The world!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I feel like you're laying this on a bit thick. What's so bad about these dope heads and burnouts?
They're spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
Claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre is obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
What's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
What about the key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
Speakfree dips into a belt pack and produces a yellow key. Then he makes a sudden cool infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies towards you.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left.
Catch it.
Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Thanks, man. Play it cool.
The speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
How long have those people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Uh, 85% is not good enough when dealing with another person's physical well-being.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I guess it wasn't very hardcore of us to just lock them in like that.
Me too. I shouldn't have that kind of power over another person. I'm not the one with the violence monopoly here. You are. I'm glad that key is out of my hands now.
Right, other questions.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them, and you want the police involved?
Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
But you haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
So how can you be sure of their burnouts and dope heads if you haven't even seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
This is a below-feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument.
I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you.
He makes little quotation marks with his fingers when he says technology. Can you tell me more about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
What about... What was that about something watching you?
Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human? As in a ghost? Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man.
A crab man?
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Ambush behavior. Crab man.
Crab man! Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time. But I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid?
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
What?
I know Noid has his signs, but what's the deal with Egghead there?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
How do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kinda here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to him?
Yeah, sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his center, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself. I get it. He's a puzzle.
I wanted to ask you about this tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
What's with all the Nosafat?
The what now?
Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The Nosafat Ultra. You have a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra. I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
You sound fine to me.
Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosafed is the shit.
Can I have some? I have some nose problems too.
Sure. Here you go, officer. The Noser. Blast away.
I see you brought your own water.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
It's distilled too.
Oh.
She doesn't know what to say.
It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
Alright, enough of this.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told? Take a moment to analyze.
Okay, So the speed freaks want to start a club for dance music. That much checks out. Youths like music. You feel as though you might have liked music more when you were young, too. But you digress.
What's the gist of it?
The gist of it is, they want to turn the church into a club, but a suspicious element has overtaken the building. It's very important to understand what the gist of things is. Always consult the gist before making up your mind. This is going well. Plus, and it has to be considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out. It still feels as if this didn't quite go as it should have, but...
That's it for now.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
That's not what the caption says, but okay. Damn, my logic is 7? Fuck.
Hi again. So, how are things going? As
That's it for
always.
now. More tribalistic markings. The post is covered in little humanoids. Paul is screwed into the ice to keep the tent erect. Trash from some unending party. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours.
So, like, seriously, what's eating you, man?
There is a hint of pity in her eyes. Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing, and she wears thick black eyeliner. Most men wouldn't call her pretty. There is a manliness to her, a coarseness.
What's that device you have there?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
And the wires?
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
Got it.
Okay.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
We'll see. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Like a crab, you say?
The lieutenant nods. His face is stone. What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
You were wrong. I do believe you.
Why?
Strange things happen.
Okay then. They certainly do around me.
I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
To the cops.
What about you? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Aha, okay. Maybe I'll ask later about all this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
What are you doing out here in the cold?
Recording, I guess.
And what is that you're recording exactly?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
And what are these recordings for? The cracks, the footsteps?
The musicians in the Elysium used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain.
Just nod.
Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway.
She rubs her shoulders and looks around.
I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
She looks at the recording device, the thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish, very useless all of a sudden. The sharp drop in endorphins is almost visible, like a warm blanket has fallen off her shoulders. The wave of chill, the quivering jaw, indications of a drug high.
Take this, your call.
The lieutenant begins to take off his jacket.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
The lieutenant backs up. He throws you a glance. He said it's supposed to be a music place. Did you mean the one Andre's got planned? The church?
Yeah, the boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really not going to be a Palaceum, that's for sure.
And who are these boys?
The boys?
Yeah, Andre and the guys, inside the tent.
And why is that?
Why are you freezing out here while the boys are inside?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room.
Stuff like what?
Didn't you see it yourself? It's mostly music stuff. Like this tape recorder, but bigger.
Why not just leave some of it outside so you don't have to freeze?
That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I can take the cold.
I had some other questions.
Go ahead.
Tape recorder lies on the ice like a discarded toy. Pick it up.
The device is cold to the touch. An angular Omicron logo adorns the yellow plastic cover. Underneath you see a reel of tape rolling. You put the device back on the ice.
Actually, that's it for now.
Okay, bye.
She turns her attention back to the recording device.
The Jamrock Shuffle. In a way, yes, you are treasure hunting. Most officers from Precinct 41 do what is called the Jamrock Shuffle, cracking open containers. Most of them are from Jamrock or Coal City, the poorest parts of Revachol, that also overlap with the network of royal catacombs called Le Royaume, just beneath the streets. As children, you would all go underground, hoping to find treasure, and come back with a rat's tail or a used needle. That playful curiosity must still be in you. Who knows, maybe one day the Orbe de Montagne, the Holy Scepter, and the Cocaine Skull will all be yours.
So what does that get me? Find better loot in locked containers? I didn't know there were locked containers. let's go to this church. Let's see about this crab man. Feel the shadow of a large empty building. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. The CPUs in the shadows. Many seem to be missing. An altar shrouded in the dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. Oh man, this would be a great time to have a flashlight, huh? Sign reads St. Brune, 1147.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Open the padlock with the key.
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Let's go.
Pull open the
A great
doors.
whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum in the heart of the city.
Okay. No crabman yet. Strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. Or forked lightning pattern you saw outside. I didn't see that outside actually, so yeah. Blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Something to do with radio frequencies? Bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly into it. These wires work as contact microphones?
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. You can hardly hear your own breathing.
Stomp your feet and clap your hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
Yell as loud as you can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers.
Turn to Kim. What's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Almost nothing, and it's beginning to worry me.
The church just has strange acoustics, some engineering trick.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Whatever it is, it's definitely real. Something odd is happening around us.
The lieutenant doesn't reply, but you can sense him tense up next to you.
Look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Try to see beyond the shadows. Crabman, 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 crabman.
It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows.
On the ceiling?
Yes. The darkness makes the ceiling feel infinitely far away.
Follow the shadow's movements.
It's not a shadow anymore, becoming more substantial as it gets closer. The shape of an animal descends.
Officer, Is there something up there?
Lieutenant follows your gaze, attempting to see whatever it is you're seeing.
Oh no. You've lost sight of it. Where did it go?
Blink.
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it.
Figure drawn on the frost. A figure drawn in frost on the window, depicting a deer. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring the view. A cracked pane of glass, colorful. Empathy shoes. And $1.50. Alright, let's talk to this crab man.
The shadow is a man. A man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The crab man.
Hey, who's there?
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Yeah, I guess I have a bit of a problem, and it's been getting out of hand lately, but...
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence. And you don't even know it.
Oh, I'm very in touch with my suffering.
Not all of it. I was like you once. You don't know all the havoc El Vino is wrecking on your mind and your spirit. Necesita parar, homie.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
For some reason I feel like you have a point here.
Don't trust me. Trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
His voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
This is the church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways.
You must be the crab man.
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Hey, it's your neighbors who came up with the name, not me.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures. And is that a satchel of tools over there?
Wait, did you also carve all those sculptures?
Sure am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use those same hands in service of something greater than my own restlessness.
I feel like I haven't seen that many figures to know what they are. You've got some nice curves going on there.
It's all just for the mother, man. No need to overthink it.
What were you before you became a crabman and a woodcarver?
I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
I lost my memory too, but I like it. It's like I get to create a whole new me, start again from scratch.
That's not really the point, I said. You gotta give yourself over to service. Service of the mother, that is.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
My name's Harry. Extend your hand for a greeting.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
He ignores your hand. His limb's a mere shadow near below the ceiling. What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. A way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
Who's this mother of silence you keep talking about?
Oh, that's no simple question, I said. She is one who can be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
What will happen when you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
Sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Faith is a kind of drug.
I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
Let's agree to disagree.
I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. I know it will take time. Don't sweat it.
Okay, he said that twice. How did you even find this place, this church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, way. It didn't belong to me.
I still don't understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
Doesn't really make sense for you to sing if she's the mother of silence.
I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart. You may be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound.
Right, I had other
The
questions.
sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
Do you know where the other spooker is? Point to the strange machines around you.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
The Aita is Grandma?
Sure. Wait, so there is another person living in the church, and it's Vieta?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
And you don't know where she is.
That's what I said, Holmes.
How can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you've got nothing else to tell me? How she looks? What she does? Who is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or
search through her radio computer.
Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
the ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
Wait, do they have a reason to be scared?
Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway.
So what do you think about the nightclub, that is?
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church was abandoned?
Police raid a while back.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Okay then, thanks. Alright. Crabman. 2 decks of reel-to-reel tape spinning on empty. Portable Harman Wowshi tape recorder. Is it possible it's recording something? Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Kneel.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
Look up.
The woman looks down at you kneeling, She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips, and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse?
It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same as you get up.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
How did I know this is the mother of humanism?
It's a mystery sprinkled with self-pity and regret. For some reason, unknown to your mind, looking at her delicate eyes makes you feel like you're ready for drowning. All you know is, this is the young mother of humanity, and that you should go. Do something else. Escape her sad, worry-worn look.
Reconstruct the cracked glass.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light on the edges of the crack.
Aren't I supposed to heal from this?
Something was written there. Remains of broken letters line the emulsion. What it said, you do not know.
This is Dolores Day.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Delorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of this place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
It's... Oh, it's red check failures that heal me. Not white checks. I guess that makes sense. That'd be too easy to exploit. What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Setsa, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around.
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
You're not sure?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I guess I could have been here.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
If I was here, I should find out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Turn away.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
A radio computer. And it's turned on.
He seems cautious around the machine.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Wait, let me just investigate it. Step behind the computer.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. This is the machine's filament memory. Press play to access its contents.
Press play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat, is this the personal log?
This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere.
Fortress accident. That sounds familiar.
The company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through her catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCS produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game.
Any other questions?
You hear her ask when the connection finally improves. What's the personal log?
The filament you have inserted into the core.
You mean the glowing thing with the tape on it that says log February to March?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is this the personal log?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
She says with as her voice disappears into a whirl of static.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Leave. Oops. Okay. Hey, Crabman. Do you happen to know the...
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Coffee in the back. Something familiar about that. Coffee and stale cookies.
Was that about coffee? I feel like I've heard that somewhere before.
Look, man. I'm at liberty to talk about the sacred blaze of the mother's glorious heart, but not about the coffee.
Have you by any chance heard the Vejita say the password to her radio computer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
Yes, it's for a first-degree murder investigation in Martinez.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrow, but doesn't say anything.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it.
Okay then, thanks.
I think we're done here, Essay.
Figure crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
Kim, everything is relevant to our investigation.
The machine's keyboard.
Press play
the speaker
again.
Comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Let's try this again. I think I have the right password for the personal log.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, but I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Read the printout.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Do you think this log might be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity.
Read the third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Eska series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Read the fourth entry.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
Artists, programmers, Lexi, who are all these people?
Her friends? Colleagues? She must be quite educated if she knew how to set up all this machinery.
A data loss?
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Read the fifth entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Read the sixth entry.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
The lieutenant looks to his right, toward the silence. Read the seventh entry.
28th of February, 51. Yes, The first recordings confirm that the swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
But what could it be? Look at the water basins behind you.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Read the 8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell.
She must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Read the 9th entry.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles, crackers, ping-ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum. Also, some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Uh-oh. Busted.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds the off button down for several seconds. The machine reboots.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're not just breaking in. Now, I don't like any of these options. We're here on a side case representing certain music venue organizers.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay.
What is it?
The woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager. That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church.
What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
She says, ready to stand her ground. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
You measure it by collecting data on its surroundings, on that which exists.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at the circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark. Most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible there?
No, I don't.
Is this hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
You said that your research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
That's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world. For now.
Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
Wow, that was quick. Why do you hate it?
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, but how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
Youth center would be nice.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR-1 as my RAIM Prefect's processing unit.
I don't understand.
RAIM Prefect is my radio computer.
And the antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
I know a little.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
And the AR-1? Is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieux dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
What are those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my rain prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Great.
Have you seen the Crab Man?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
Okay, it's probably not a big deal then.
No, you're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker with the machine's printer. Right, I'll let you work in peace now. Okay. Well then. Time to find out what those cool kids actually want with the church. Maybe.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze.
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look.
I've got bad news for you, Andre. Things don't add up.
What things?
He senses something is wrong.
This isn't the makings of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
That Nosefed is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
Where is his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker. You only have one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
He sounds tired. In short, you tried using a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
We'll see. Now speak.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again. Then finally raises his hands.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revershoal.
Because we are! We totally are!
We
just got to turn it into a speed lab first. You know, to get our foot in the door.
And why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
Let's do this clean. No speed lab. No. They lied to me. They lied to me, and that's rude. Get lost. I don't want to see you again.
No, please!
Egghead presses stop on the tape player. In the silence, you can hear the wind outside. The wind howl outside.
There needs to be a cloud for Nordic music in there. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves and I can't. We are running out of time.
Without his smile, Egghead looks heartbroken and older than you thought he was.
He looks almost as old as you.
We need a win. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
No debate. Get lost. I'm not letting some druggies take over a church.
Fuck, man. You said you'd be lenient.
Andre looks beat.
Pack it up, Egg.
You should be glad I'm not even arresting you.
He doesn't even look at you.
Oh. Okay then. Okay, church. What about this? And this? Is that anywhere I can actually go? Is that actually anything? Okay. What have we here? Rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The building before you housed the engine. It must have been a really big one. Chain trails off into the ocean. Who knows where?
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
You see this, or what is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot at the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Could this structure have been used to take the shot?
From here to the whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way.
Walk away. Not gonna waste a 3% red check. Do I even have anything that could boost it? Buff it? No? Barrel has been recently discarded. It smells of fuel oil. Cigarette butts clean away under the rock. Brand Timori. You make a note. Timori. It sounds important somehow. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. Rusted, broken control box for radio relay tower. Ladder's too rusty to climb. The sea air is eating away at it. This relay tower coordinates float traffic in the bay, barely.
Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, a bottle, and a dilapidated old comms tower.
I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freitor. I don't see a person take a shot here and hit something there, in the whirling in rags.
Look over the water to the whirling in rags.
1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, through a thick snowstorm melted flake by flake in the waves, you see the smallest rectangle, barely visible. A glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you would see a young woman's shape move behind the glass, her limbs long and slender.
Maybe the assailant climbed the comms tower and took the shot there?
It's not possible to climb that ladder. And even if it were, why? There's no platform up there to aim from.
Lieutenant looks up, raising his collar.
It does look extremely rickety, and wouldn't help much either.
Maybe the campfire was used by the perpetrator.
To warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps. But anyone could have made this. The coast is specked with fires this time of year.
He looks around.
Truthfully, this seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from. Visibility is awful. There's water vapor everywhere. I think we can rule out biddable prime, was it?
Finished thought. The island. How do I get to the island? Boardwalk rises to yourself. It casts a long shadow over you. Does it? Because the shadow seems to be from the north somehow? Okay. So I need to get to the island. Makeshift route. Vagrants have tried to make this boardwalk habitable. Coin-operated weighing machine. Hasn't been used for a decade. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Okay.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
It might be a clue.
A clue? You think our suspect is a seagull who's been defecating on unsuspecting jackets?
It could have been multiple seagulls. No.
Me neither.
You should still take it. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Gross.
Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck.
Ew, ew, ew. Flick your
Now
hands.
you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Well, rip. Big wine canister. It's open and empty.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be.
Heads up, Lieutenant. Something's not right here.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Careful, the floorboards look rotten and weak.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra.
Examine the tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
Lieutenant looks at in the can, eyes watering from the smell.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads, Shish Kebab Revachol. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on.
Lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well, It must be custom made.
Search his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
Study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. Be very, very careful where you step here.
Examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
No, just this one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Examine the bottle.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us.
He looks at the other two bottles forgotten near the coin-operated viewer. Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Rybowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Step on the floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet.
Step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Who is this man?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
He looks south the way you came.
That's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
This is an omen. A sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
Looks like just another old drunkard to me.
And he was married.
The lieutenant points to the ring on it, the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and gray.
But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk.
What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
He smiles sourly. Could it be related to the lynching?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now.
Do you think he was drunk?
Oh, yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
What about the kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with them?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
You're right, I don't see anything criminal here. Let's leave it at that.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
I got an achievement, apparently. Called Goodest of the Good Cops. Really get Kim to trust you. He trusts me, apparently. I don't know why. We found him. We should finish this.
Alright. We should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours 900 to 1800.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by.
Put it away. Alright, It's coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years. Okay, so with that, let's call the stream here. We got some shit done. We actually made some progress. Maybe, kind of, sort of. At least we did stuff. I don't know if this really helped solve the murder at all, but we did stuff. So that's cool. But yes, thank you for watching, y'all. I love you very much. I'll see you next time. Remember, Black Lives Matter, defund the police. Bye-bye!